I was asked to explain what backchaining is, and we're going to do that. I'm going to show how backchaining can be used to build up specific aspects of the bark and hold. First of all, I have to preface this in saying that Vela, up until a couple of months ago, didn't bark. In other words, she had been trained to, in an alarm situation, bark twice and come to me for a treat, which meant I installed an off switch. Hadn't, though, thought of installing an on switch. So now we've been working on installing an on switch. Well, we have to teach her that there's a time and place for everything, and one of the things that is a time and place for is to bark. And it started through rewarding reinforcing a whine, and then a more pressing whine, and that went to a little cough and such. And she's up to the point now where, with a little bit of clearing her throat, she can actually bark. So the first step is to get her to bark wherever I'm standing, and as her reinforcer, she'll get the bite sausage. And I may have to prompt her on this. Vad sagst du? So, we went from a couple of tries to one bark on the first try. Let's see if we can up that now to more than one bark. No reward here. No reward for just grabbing. There's the reward. Okay. So that was 2. Didn't like the jump up. We'll work on that in a little bit. First time she's ever let go. So there we go. And push it. Yeah, so we got 3 and no jump up. We can also see how her letting go really got her scared and worried about biting again, right? Yeah, okay. Next step will be to have her come from where we are now over to the blind, which you can't see, and I'll have to turn the camera to look at. So, toucha. Lotta. Now all she's going to have to do is to come into a front without me actually saying the front word. Revia. Bravi. So, she came into the front. As soon as she sat down in the front, she got her bite sausage. We'll do that again. Revia. I threw it away, she brings it back, and we have our play. That's a double reinforcer. The going to fetch it and bringing it back for the play itself. And Aus. Bus. Aus. Bus. Aus. Bus. Little bit of practicing the aus. Aus. Bus. So be with the reinforcer being to be able to grab again. Aus. Bus. Aus. Ooh. Bus. So. Aus. Okay. So I'm taking 5 barks as really good for today. Great. Okay, now we're going to have her come to me from a different angle, and it has to be in the front position. And if it's in the front position, I'll throw it, and we'll do the play again. So. Revier. So, beautiful front, from the side into the front, and throw it, and she brings it back for a play. And so, going to have to move the camera, get a different angle. Okay, so last time was from an angle of about 45 degrees to the camera, to the blind. Now we're going to do it at an angle of about 90 degrees. Still has to be a front, still has to be the barking. Revier. Okay, again, she came right into a front, and she did with a little bit of throat clearing, a very good bark. So now we've basically got her coming from behind the first blind, 180 degrees, still has to come around that corner, still has to do her 90 degrees, chaining, adding criteria to the front end of the behavior. The back end of the behavior, the end of the behavior is the position with the bark. Revier. Okay, so that's not a good position. I'm going to back up a step. If it doesn't work, you don't punish the dog. You back up a step where she last did it correctly, which was at 90 degrees. Revier. You don't punish the dog. You reduce the criteria, you practice the criteria, then you add the new criteria. So now that she's got it correctly, go back to the 180 degrees, and we'll do that. Very good, too. Revier. Now she's at 90 degrees. Oh. Now we'll add more criteria, which means more distance behind the blind. She has to run faster, run further, hopefully faster, turn around, 90 degrees, bark. You can almost always use the reinforcement position as a starting position for the next behavior. Revier. So see, she jumped up. We're not going to take that. Go back to 90 degrees. Yeah, I know. Revier. No. Front. Front. So and that's where I'm going to start the quick repeat with you. Sit. Warte. Revier. Wo ist es? Peter. Such. Peter. Ja, da, 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 da. Ja, da, da. Super. Revier. Yeah, okay. Not quite the intensity of barking I wanted. And of course she did have to shake off on the way. So we'll go to the same distance again. Revier. Yeah. So I waited then for a real bark, and as soon as she gave me a real one, because she's getting tired, I gave it to her. Huh? And that's the end of backchaining for today. Ay, 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 ay. Super, yeah, super. On, out. Vodka.